Travers. You are listening to the 5th of 5 bonus episodes this week inside Coaches on a Mission. Here we are, the first week of October. We are officially in the fourth quarter of the year. This tends to be the time for me and for so many coaches in my community that we start dreaming and scheming and planning about the year to come, and also assessing the year behind us so that we can acknowledge success in order to build on it and course correct where we need to. So we decided to do this special 5-part series because I wanted to share some insights that I have gleaned this year observing members inside of the Hive and, flying this plane of my own business as well. So we've also got a few remaining spots in the Hive before we close enrollment for the year. As soon as we get to that magic number of 75, we're going to close the doors because 75 new members is really the number where we know we can deliver the standard of support and training and coaching that we are accustomed to and that our Hive members are accustomed to. So this is your final invitation to take advantage of this time of year and join us in the Hive. You're going to lock in 2022 prices. You're going to get your hands on a beautiful, I'm so excited to send them to Hive members yet. They haven't even received them. They're going out in October. A beautiful journal to help you organize all of your notes during our Hive calls. You'll get a ticket to our virtual year-end retreat on December 9th. And maybe most exciting, you will get to participate in Client Surge in January live together with me. We surge once or twice a year, and that will happen in the new year. So apply, please. DallasTravers.com/apply. Then you'll meet with me and we'll just decide together if it's the right move for you. Okay, so I was going to basically script these episodes this week, and instead I just wrote some notes down. And now I have been in the groove recording these episodes, so I'm definitely winging this final episode, but I know what I want to talk about, and what I really want is to speak from the heart. So here we go. I think it's time for each and every one of us to normalize the roller coaster. That is something we really, really strive to do inside of the Hive for a whole host of reasons. Namely, the online industry does not normalize the roller coaster. Think about any sales page you've ever looked at. They tend to feature the massive amount of money someone earned in the shortest amount of time. That is what we value, right? That's the message that we receive. So if you're not making massive amounts of money in a short amount of time, you are broken in some way. I'm guilty of it too, but I feel like our businesses are all like run through an Instagram filter. And I have no judgment about that, but I want to just think about the harm that might unintentionally cause to your audience, to the people that you really want to serve, right? I just think about so many programs selling courses to coaches who have selling courses about courses, right? To coaches who have no business whatsoever designing and launching a course at this stage. They don't even know their niche yet. And the harm that's caused on one's pocketbook, but also their confidence when they go through this course that has all these amazing testimonials and they don't see the same results. Number 2, online communities are naturally built to reward extroverted linear thinkers. And if you are not extroverted, if you are not a linear thinker, you got to work on your mindset, right? Which is crap. So we have to strive as coaches really, really hard to normalize the roller coaster for our own mental health, but also for our audience, because we've got to work against the way that online businesses are naturally designed, right? They're naturally like a Q&A call works best for someone who's clear enough about their situation that they know the question to ask. Well, if I'm clear enough about my situation, do I even have a question? Probably not. Facebook groups, are you joking? If you are someone, I talked about this on an earlier episode this year, but if If you're someone who's super shy and you finally work up the courage to post inside a Facebook group that you're a part of, the algorithm knows that you are not an active member of this group. They will not push your post out in front of people. It will not get seen, and therefore you won't receive the support that you want. And now it reinforces this feeling of invisibility. So, normalizing the roller coaster in our own hearts, in our own minds, in our own programs. That is how we stick with things for the long haul. And it's interesting that, in the Hive, we've kind of coined it as that. But this is a very boring roller coaster. Yes, there are some highs. And when we normalize the roller coaster, we celebrate our highs. It doesn't do anybody any good to not see you winning, right? We also own our lows and really look at what there is to learn, right? How did we get it wrong so we're closer to getting it right, like our conversation yesterday? So yeah, there are highs and there are lows on this roller coaster, but the roller coaster of running an online business mainly is flat. My girlfriend and I, when we were juniors in college, I went to the University of Washington in Seattle, and we took a road trip in her Geo Metro. So there, now you know how old I am. I'm 45. She had this like 3-cylinder Geo Metro. And we drove it from Seattle to Memphis, Tennessee, to Graceland. And what an adventure, right? I can remember driving through Kansas and just feeling it's a big state, right? And we took like we drove through the widest part. And it was just the same thing for hours, just looking out the window at these beautiful fields and beautiful sky and a cow every once in a while. It was long and flat. And if you just judged our progress based on looking out the window, you would think we weren't moving at all. But in fact, we were moving. That's what running a business looks like. It is so much flat road that it causes us to question ourselves. So as an industry, I'm talking about the online space, I think we could all do ourselves and our peers a favor by talking more about the boring and messy middle, talking more about how we're learning from our missteps, which is different than just sharing a rags to riches story, right? Can we be so in the process of our own growth and our own learning that we can share our missteps in real time in service to the growth of others? And also just get realistic about how much flat road actually exists. So how do we normalize the roller coaster for our clients? And this is related, I promise, and it may not seem like it. I have a real thing with private coaching against time-bound contracts, like a 3-month contract and then someone re-enrolls for another 3 months, or it's a 6-month package or any of that stuff for a whole host of reasons, right? It's fear-based pricing. You're like trying to trap someone into something because you're afraid they'll leave. It often creates a barrier to entry for the client. They've never coached with you before. How do they know they're going to want to stay? Like, are you actually going to enforce it? That's a whole nother conversation. But mainly, there is an implication with time-bound contracts. If you have a 3-month coaching package, if you're a health coach, you have a 3-month coaching package, whether you say it or not, the assumption here is that I'm going to be at my dream weight. My cholesterol will be down within range, right? I will no longer have menopause symptoms, whatever your expertise are. That's going to happen in 3 months. Otherwise, why is this a time-bound contract? So we normalize the roller coaster by eliminating our time-bound contracts, giving our clients the dignity of their own process, the ups, the downs, and the long, long stretches of flat road. Another way that we can really normalize the roller coaster for our clients is to narrate all the time. So Hive members, this is going to sound super familiar. Narrate in your coaching conversations, right? When you're distracted, when you're unsure, when you sense that the client is in resistance, but you don't quite know how to pull them out of it, narrate what's happening. When you're selling, narrate what's going to happen so people expect the pitch at the end of your sales call. But also in your marketing, in your larger group programs, narrate your own missteps and what you've learned. That's how we normalize the roller coaster. I did that yesterday. You saw it in action when I shared about a mistake that I feel I made this year and what we did about it. The more we can narrate, this is client-centered, right? This is how we really help people see their own progress instead of always feeling behind. And again, this isn't about, because I think there's like this sales tactic about sharing your rags to riches story and the whole, if I can do it, so can you. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you make a billing mistake, right? Explaining what happened to the client instead of just offering a refund and hope and like fixing the problem and hoping they don't notice. On a Hive call not long ago, this is before we added our 4th call a month, we had someone who it was rushed at the end, and their expectation, or my assumption rather, of what they were expecting from the call was probably not even accurate, but it was like I thought they wanted more than what would be possible in a call. And I left that call not feeling great. I felt friction. I really feel like I didn't deliver. They felt the same way. So instead of just being like, ugh, that sucked, let's move on. We opened up a dialogue with this person, gave them some alternatives and some options. And I owned the fact that I wasn't really delivering my best coaching. This person trusts me, like feels more at home now because of that. So this is like another level of integrity or transparency. And it's not performative. It's really about helping your people understand the intentionality that exists behind every decision that you make. And the more we're able to do that, the more we will normalize the roller coaster. And when the roller coaster is normalized, people stay on the ride longer, and that's when they achieve results. So I want you to just think about where, if anywhere, you have created invisible and unrealistic expectations with your audience, with your clients. How can you narrate to clean that up and normalize this roller coaster that we are on? And then think about where in our online space do you see this level of transparency? Where do you see leaders also normalizing the roller coaster? Those are the leaders you need to follow and work with. Together, we can actually accomplish more and feel better in the process when we understand that things can be messy. One of my favorite quotes of all time is by Price Pritchett, and he says, "Everything is a mess in the middle. You can't bake a cake without making a mess." So think about that image for a second. Actually, Farina and I made our first ever flourless chocolate cake a couple of weeks ago. And it was a messy process. But at the halfway mark, what we had was a bowl of fluffy egg whites and a bowl of dark brown goo. That's what we had. And then I had to figure out how do you fold egg whites in, right? You got to mix them together without the egg whites losing their fluff. And that was really interesting. So now we've got a gooey pan that goes in the oven, and we hope for the best. But if we hadn't fluffed the egg whites and put them in with the brown goo, we wouldn't have had this super yummy flourless chocolate cake. That is the process. We can't quit in the middle if we want the result. So I'm going to wrap this bonus training up, just inviting you to normalize the roller coaster a bit. Narrate your wins to inspire people. Narrate your losses to further people's learning as well as your own. And expect some flat road. We're in this for the long haul, and coasting for a while, maybe that's cool. I hope these bonus episodes have inspired you in some way. It's been really fun to show up and just talk with you. Most of the episodes that I do are coaching sessions. So this has been fun to feel this connection with you as my listener. And I thank you for tuning in. I also want to give you a wholehearted invitation to join me in the Hive. It's such an incredible community, and we're all doing really awesome work inside of that program, and it would be great to have you there. You can apply and get all the cool bonuses that we talked about earlier at dallastravers.com/apply. And again, I thank you for being a subscriber to this show and for tuning in every single week. I will see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.